Hello everybody and welcome to this video. This is going to be an overview of my 2017 setup, which is a computer that I use as my daily computer, edit all my YouTube videos and stuff on it, and well, just my daily computer. Since my last system video that I made back in 2016, literally pretty much everything has changed. I've got a new keyboard, new mouse, got a microphone stand, I've even got a new desk, I've got new speakers, I've got a new hard drive dock. I think pretty much my entire system's had like an overhaul and an update since last time. The only thing that I can remember using on my old system that I use on this one at the moment is the CPU cooler, the graphics card and the drives that are in the computer. Like literally everything else has changed since my 2016 setup tour. So I thought it would be a good time to make a 2017 setup tour. This video is going to be split up into 3 different sections. The first section will be, I'll go over the desk and what's on the desk. The next section will be focused on the PC and the components in the PC. Well, I will be having a look at the components in the PC. And then the third section, I will be screen capturing my main monitor, and during the screen capture I'll have like hardware monitor and stuff open so that I can show you and tell you what specifications my computer has. Because just by looking at the components themselves you can't tell what they are. Well, maybe you can with the graphics card and stuff depending on how computer knowledgeable you are. Before I begin, I will just say that the full names of all the equipment that I use will be in the description below. Let's jump straight in by moving the chair because it's in the way. So starting off with the keyboard is a 1UP mechanical G400, and as you can see down here it features Altimu blue switches. They're not Cherry MX switches, they're Altimu, I believe it's called. So yeah, every key on this keyboard is an Altimu blue switch. Now moving on to the mouse here, there's nothing fancy about it, it's just a standard generic mouse. This is a Logitech M150 laser mouse. Now moving on to the speakers that I use, there's 2 desktop speakers there, and you can see there is a subwoofer under the desk as well. Now these speakers are the Logitech Z333 speakers, so that's Logitech Z followed by 333, which I guess is half of 666, so is that the devil's number? I'd probably just started some kind of conspiracy thing there. So the next part of the setup I shall mention is the monitors. Now that's my main monitor, that's my secondary monitor, and I actually need to look up the actual name of these because I've forgot them. Right, so my main monitor, that one, the AOC one, is a AOC I2369V. And my secondary monitor over there is a ASUS VB171D. One thing I forgot to mention about the monitors is the resolution. My main monitor is 1920 by 1080p or full HD, and it runs natively at 60 Hz, but I currently have it forced to 75 Hz through the NVIDIA control panel. And my secondary monitor has a resolution of 1280 by 1024, and that natively runs at 75 Hz. Let's go over the fan, because this keeps me cool when it's the middle of summer and stupid temperatures. So the fan is a Fine Elements COL1021. So that's the fan if you want to know what fan it is. And the final thing to go over is the microphone. Now I put the box behind it so that you can see it better because it blends in with the same colour as the speaker behind it. But yeah, before I get into the actual microphone, you can probably already tell what it is. As a pop filter, I literally just have a bit of sponge with an elastic band around it that I just like put over it, and it just stays over it like it did before I took it off. So this is the microphone. So this is the Audio-Technica. Can I turn it around without, oh no, I've just unscrewed it. But you can see this is the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB Plus. And a little bit later in the video, when I get onto the screen capture stuff, I will be using this microphone to record my voice with. So if you want to know what the audio recording quality sounds like, wait until the end of the video. And I have the microphone just mounted to some very generic microphone stands. Like, it's unbranded, it's like white labelled, whatever you want. It's just one that I got from eBay for like £5 or something, so yeah. It works, it does the job. I almost forgot to mention what my hard drive dock was. So my hard drive dock is a Tecknet USB 3.0 2 dual SATA HDD docking station. It's a very good little hard drive dock. I really like it. It's well, it's my first hard drive dock that I've ever owned, and so far it hasn't let me down. No idea how I forgot to mention this, because it is probably the biggest upgrade since my 2016 setup tour, is my new desk. I have actually got a proper desk, but before I was just using a 5-foot folding camping table, which bits were falling off it, like screws were falling out of it. The plastic it was made of, because it's hollow, it all started warping, and it was basically coming to an end. So I found this, and I bought this nice solid desk with really rugged metal structure beneath it to hold it all in place, and so far I really like it. Anyway, let's move on to the system, part 2, segment 2 of this video. Now moving on to the computer itself. So the first thing I'll mention is the case. The case is a Fractal Design Define R5, the version without the window, because the last case that I had a window and it just got ruined, so I thought for this new case I wouldn't get a window. I'll start off with the drives. So the top drive, my main drive, is a 120 gigabyte Samsung 840 Evo, and that's my OS drive. My secondary drive is a OC'd Vertex 4 at 256 gigabytes. That's primarily my editing drive, but at the moment it's both my editing and my programs drive. And that is because my YouTube archive, that actually failed on me. So I needed to pull the exposure's far too high. There we go. This was previously my programs drive. It's a HGST 7200 RPM 1TB drive. This was my old programs drive, and then my YouTube archive died on me. So this is now my YouTube archive, and the programs that were on here, I've moved over to this drive temporarily until I get a new drive for my YouTube archive. So that's what drives I use. Now I'm going to move on to I'll just start at the top and work down, I guess. So the motherboard that's in the system that holds everything together is an MSI X99A Tomahawk, as you can see there. The RAM, there's 4 DIMMs there, and there are also 4 DIMMs there. That is 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance, running at stock. It's supposed to run at 2666, that's megahertz, but at the moment it's running at 2800, I think, because I'm using the XMP profile. The CPU cooler is a CoolerMaster Hyper 212 Evo with a pull configuration on the fan, and then in there below the cooler we have an Intel Core i7-5930K. That's a 6-core 12-thread CPU, and it's overclocked to 4.3 gigahertz. With this CoolerMaster cooler, I am running a custom voltage of 1.230 volts on the core, and when the CPU is maxed out at 100% with this cooler, I get the highest I've seen it is around the mid 80s, which, you know, is kind of bordering on too hot, but it's not like critically hot. Now the GPU is an ASUS Strix, if you couldn't already tell by the big Strix word and the owl logo there. It's a ASUS Strix GTX 970. I did forget to mention this block of wood here with elastic bands wrapped around it, and that is simply just a GPU brace to stop the GPU from sagging, therefore it won't be putting excess strain on the PCI lane, and the elastic bands around it are simply so that there's some traction between the wood and the metal of the case, so that it doesn't like slip out or anything like that. But that's what the block of wood is for those of you that were wondering. And finally, moving down to the power supply, I've got a Corsair CS650M, which is a 650 watt power supply. And when I upgraded to X99, I was wondering if the 650 watts would be enough. But so far, I haven't had any problems running the 650 watt power supply. I've had no shutdowns, no like crashes, no nothing that would indicate the power supply is not capable of delivering the power the system needs. And I think that's it for my desktop system. I am now screen capturing my main display, and I'm also recording the audio using the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB Plus microphone that I have previously showed you. On the right here I have Prime 95 64-bit version 26.6. I believe that is the latest version to be released that doesn't put a really unrealistic heavy workload on the CPU, therefore causing a really high spike in temperatures like some of the later releases cause. I'm not sure on the cause behind that, maybe due to like incorrect architecture or a bug in the programming. I'm not sure, but I'm running version 26.6, and if I just go ahead here and torture test, let's run the one for maximum heat, because I want to show you the temperatures that I get with my CPU and cooler, and with it being overclocked to 4.3 and things like that. Now in the top left, as you can see, I have hardware monitor open, and just quickly going over the specs of my system again, you can see them there. There's the X99A Tomahawk CPU, the OC'd drive, my Samsung drive, and my GPU. And for some reason, I don't think hardware monitor shows the RAM, does it? Okay, so now in the bottom left, I have once again brought up Task Manager because I did open it previously, but I must have closed it and not realized. But as you can see here, I am running 32 gigabytes of RAM at 2800 megahertz. I've got all 8 DIMMs used. You can see more information about the slots and stuff there, and just more information about the RAM there. So now remember, I started the torture test a few minutes ago. If we go and have a look at the temperatures, well, first let's have a look at the core clocks. Bottom left, you can see the megahertz here. The current value is 4.299. Let's just say 4.3 gigahertz. CPU is completely maxed out, and those are the current temperatures. So if we actually have a look at the max temperatures, which are these ones here, I did say the hottest I've seen it is in the mid 80s, but actually looking at these temperatures, these are all below 80. So I know I've only just started the test. Equilibrium might not have been like reached yet, but it doesn't look like that these are going to change anytime soon. So yeah, and then at the top here you can see the voltage applied, which like I've already said is 1.230. And the main reason why I wanted to show you this, like overclock and temperatures and stuff, is to show you that even with a very cheap budget CPU cooler such as the Hyper 212 Evo that I have, you can still attain like decent overclocks with a decent CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads, and still get temperatures that are nowhere near like the limits of what the CPU can run at. So yeah, that's been it for the screen capture part of this video. I hope you've liked it. The sound may be a bit echoey, it may be a bit bassy because I don't have any dampening on any of the walls or anything like that. So now I'll jump back and I'll get on with showing you the specs of my laptop. So now we're going to take a look at my laptop. So this is what the laptop looks like. I don't normally have an orange background, I just gave it an orange background so the camera actually has something to focus on, because I just usually either have a black background or like a really dark background, and my camera has trouble focusing on that because it can't really tell the distance away that it is because it's just black, it's dark, there's nothing to compare against. Anyway, enough of that. So this laptop is manufactured by, well, technically it's manufactured by Clevo and then 3XS by it, but under the name of 3XS it is the 3XS LG15 Performance GTX, which is a which is a 15.6 inch display. It's 1920 by 1080p at 60 Hz, and there's a full keyboard. The keyboard is RGB backlit, so I can choose whatever colour I want, but I usually just leave it on blue. So I guess now we'll take a look at the specifications. So there are the specifications of this laptop. The GPU is a GTX 1050 Ti, the CPU is an i7-7700HQ, there's 8 gigs of RAM, and the display, like I've already said, is 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. Finally, at the last part of the video where I show you the equipment I use for YouTube. Now the camera and tripod is currently set up, well, the camera is currently set up on the tripod, but what I do have is the boxes of the products I use. So the tripod I use is a Velbon EF-61 tripod, and the camera I use is a Sony Handycam HDR CX450. So yeah, that's the tripod that I use and the camera that I use. That has been it for the setup tour, like literally the complete setup tour, not just my main PC but my laptop, my camera, my tripod. My entire setup tour for 2017 is finally recorded and I'm really pleased about it. I think like just the recording quality and my editing style, looking back at the 2016 one compared to this 2017 one. That it's like all improved, the quality's improved. Admittedly, there probably will be still a few mistakes. I'm a human, as far as I know anyway, and humans do make mistakes. It's inevitable that mistakes will be made, but still I think the quality of like the overall recording and editing is just massively improved compared to last year. But anyway, that is it for this video. So if you like it, then like it. If you didn't, then dislike it. Comment, favourite, share and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I'll speak to you in the next video.